Okay, welcome everybody. So this is the second video on preparing the body for my Tellarite, which there's the head that I ordered off of eBay. In the last video I showed you how I made the costume. This time I'm going to show you how I'm making the hands into the sort of hoofed, three-fingered thing that is how Tellarites look. If I can find a good picture, a good screenshot from the show, I'll throw that up right here. If not, then it won't be there. Before I start, last thing is that I had not yet gotten the shoes. This is the white tinny shoe, high top. Show you on this camera here that I got for the Tellarite. And you can see I've already got the uniform on him. So there's the shoes on him. There's the costume, and we're going to be sculpting on that hand right there. And you can see I've already gotten that ready to receive the head. And I'm gonna pull that arm out from the costume so that it's a little easier to work on, like that. Now to explain what we're gonna do, and we'll get to the supplies here in just a minute, but we're gonna take and we're gonna use green stuff to fill in the finger gap, which between these fingers here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to get some green stuff. I'm going to mix it all up together because you see it's the yellow and blue. You mix it till it turns green. And then I'm going to get a little snake of that. I'm going to roll a little snake of it. And I'm going to take and I'm going to work it. Let me get it on the screen. I'm going to work it into the gap between the fingers here. And eventually we'll do the same thing on the other finger here. So that it'll be sort of like this, but with no gap between the fingers. And I do want to cover most of the finger itself and then blend everything back over onto the knuckle. And I want to try and do the same thing on the inside of the hand. Then, and that's what these tools here, these are sculpting blending tools. This is also, it's a little blending roller as well. You can take and shape with it. But then I have this, which is a little shaping tool. And what I'll do with it is I'll use the flat edge over here to come in, and here I'll use the scissors sort of to demonstrate in a larger mode, where I'll put little lines for the knuckles there, and there. And then I will use the flat edge of that to come in and push in the shape of the fingernail, or the hoof nail, I guess. I'm not real sure how you would refer to that, but that's what we're going to do. So I am going to pause this video for just a minute, because watching me knead green stuff for 2 minutes is going to be boring. When we come back, when you see me again in just a second, I'll have that ready and we'll start shaping that out and getting that onto the hand. I guess I could show you how much I'm going to use, because this is really, and by the way, you don't have to use green stuff. It's what I prefer. It's literally, I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut that tiny little amount. That is actually more than what I will need. So, let me put this back in the box so it doesn't dry out. Just set that aside. And I'm going to pause this while I knead these into a single mass. Okay, got that kneaded into a single green mass. I'm going to start by just pinching off about that much, because that's all I'm going to need for the one finger. And I'm going to roll it into a little tiny green snake. And I know this is going to be real hard for some of y'all to see. Let me get my tools over to the right hand side. Now I'm going to start by lining this up at the big knuckle at the back. Okay. And this is the rough part. Getting... Sorry if I get my hands in the way, because it's small work. Now I am going to go ahead and start trying to use my finger there to blend that back. And then I'm going to start blending it there into the tip of the finger, which is a little tough. And then finally covering into the palm of the hand. I'm going to switch to this blending tool. And I'm not as concerned with getting things perfect on the inside of the hand. I'm not going to be bothering with details on the inside, because nobody's going to see that. But what they are likely to see is the outside. So I'm just going to use that little rubber tip to blend everything together. Let's see if I can show you how that's essentially blended in. And now I'm going to take, like I said, I'm going to use the flat edge of this first to make little lines right here where the big knuckle is. And then the middle knuckle. And then the front knuckle. And then finally I'm going to take the position where I want my fingernail, and hopefully you can see how I'm pushing that into shape to make one fingernail over the two fingers. Now then, I'm going to do all of that again, which means I'm going to get another tiny snake of green stuff, so that we can do this where the ring and pinky finger are. And by the way, you don't, like I said, you don't have to use green stuff. The green stuff is just something it's a little harder and it lasts a little longer. and it takes paint really easily. But you can use just epoxy clay if you want. You can use just cheap Walmart clay, or you can leave it alone and just have the hand be a normal hand and don't worry about it. Some people, if you don't care, then just do what you want. You do what makes you happy. For me, I want that particular look. I got too much here. Here, let's. Where did? Oh. And if you can fill in the gaps, but you can't get the details, do that. If it looks good to you and it makes you happy, then just enjoy it. This is just what I'm doing to satisfy my little artistic desire, which is something that a lot more people need to understand. Is sometimes some of us have different desires for how we like for our art or our aesthetic to be. All right. So do what makes you happy. Okay. All right. That one looks real good. And the good thing is, once this is hard, what I will then do is prime it so that on the day that we paint the head, I can take in whatever skin tone that I pick for the Tellarite, I can just throw that on the hand, do a little bit of a wash that'll seep into those crevices, and it'll look good. And this one, I actually did this hand yesterday, so it's already hard. You can actually kind of hear it's got an almost plasticky quality now. And so now those are 2 hooved hands, and in 24 hours it'll all be ready to take paint. So that is it for the sculpting of the Tellarite hands. So all that's left now is when we paint up the head, which I will be throwing a primer on this guy before we paint him. Because even though this is one of the 3D printed ones from oh man, now I gotta remember. I think that I got this from Reliving the Past, and he 3D prints these heads. I got a few heads from him that I'll be working on in the future as well. So, then at this point, I will see you for painting up the Tellarite and getting it put it all together. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you then. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. If you want to support me, you can find me on Patreon, or go over to Zazzle for prints of my artwork, t-shirts, and other cool stuff. If you're still here, why? Do you want to jam out?